Alright, welcome back everyone. This is the 2-2 Mountain Mania tutorial for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the 80% route. This stage in particular has me very nervous. Very nervous, because this is where a lot of run resets happen, so hopefully you'll be able to get the tricks down on the first time through. All pogos because I can. And we have Rambi. Very tricky pogo setup for this part, but if you manage to get the right spots, more all pogos. And very specifically, pogoing saves a lot more time with Rambi, because you'll notice at the start of all of his runs he does this like giddy up, and that actually is much slower than the usual roll startup. But Rambi runs as fast as the Kongs roll, so he doesn't even get like that benefit. Alright, now this is where most people are going to start dying. Oh, okay, I made it. That's good. That's one difficult trick. And nice! Both of them, okay. Ooh, okay, so bonking into that ceiling, not the end of the world. That's literally like as far as you want to carry that boost. Getting that far, like honestly, this would make me really happy if I'd gotten this in a run. And then one last little trick with Rambi. Wow, thank God. Okay, so Mountain Mania. A lot of potential to die. It's all over the place. There's a lot of pits. There's speed boosts, which we can finally really see taking place in the run. That second speed boost actually cuts out having to climb that section. That's like 5 or 6 seconds at least if you nail that. And then the first boost only really saves 1 second because of the speed and not having to stop. So I'm gonna go back. Do this again. I'll even explain my my all pogos route, but really at the beginning you saw it was quite a lot of pogoing that I did. You can roll jump through all of that, you'll be just fine, but I'm gonna go ahead and explain my pogo. So you mash out of this cutscene and you start rolling, and then I like to do a pogo off of the Dixie barrel onto the first enemy that you'll see right here. I do it a hard enough pogo that I land on this rabbit, and I'd like to land on him rather than like jumping on the ledge before him. You might hit him. I'd rather not get hit by him. So land on the rabbit, and then you want to do a pogo hard enough that you'll also land in the pit of spikes. And this will allow you to do 2 pogos without losing any speed, and you land right on top of the Rambi box. Now when you grab Rambi, it's very important that you don't slip off the box. You don't. If you ledge clip onto the box, like normally when Donkey Kong does a ledge clip, he'll go whoop, and then he'll jump onto the ledge. You can't do anything during that, and the game will respond to whatever buttons you pressed afterwards. So don't freak out, be careful, try not to like roll off and forget Rambi. Just wait until Donkey Kong does the ledge clip, if that happens. Try to land directly on top of the box so it doesn't happen at all. As soon as you're on top of the box, a single slam will break it, and then you'll be on top of Rambi. And then Rambi has the same property as rolling when he's running, so you can run off of a ledge and then jump, and this is where the first bounces really start to happen. Now if you want to do all of these bounces, I might have screwed this up already, but you want to land on the leftmost side of the Rambi bricks here and do a light pogo. Try and get that perfect. Now I might collect the K, which is nice. If I don't, not the end of the world, because I'm not going for hundo, but it is very important for people who are trying to get all the Kong letters and do 100%. They got to get that K. Now I might land on the enemy below me. I might land just after him. And this is where it starts to get a little tricky, because you want to do one more light pogo, and whether it's on the enemy or not, it's a light pogo. But the enemy, if you bounce off the enemy, it's higher. So, okay, so I screwed it up. I got hit, but if you had gotten that, darn it! And then like you see how like it takes Rambi a second to actually start running. So I tried to start running a couple times. That's the annoying part about controlling Rambi. He's like a clunkier version of Donkey Kong, honestly. So if I can get, I think about right here. Darn, and you have to wait a second. Like, you really have to let him start running. There we go. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, I screwed that up. But if you do, let's try and get this. I would really rather be able to get that all over again. So I don't think I hit a single checkpoint. Oh, darn, but now I don't have Cranky. You really need Cranky for this, so I'm going to go ahead and add him back in real quick. Kind of an emergency tactic here. Yeah, I really want to make sure that I get that edited in properly. So this is how you would add player 2 at the start of the run. Make sure you have 2 controllers. Add player 2 in, confirm, and then you get to pick who that character is, and you add them in. So that's what you do before the run starts in co-op. However, after the run starts, after you've done the first stage, you have to go to add drop and drop player 2. And you do this while it's timed so that it's fair. Okay, get back in the stage. It's a pretty good safety strat for marathon runs. Thankfully, most of the runners have not had the need to do that. So let's just breeze through this section at the beginning real quick again. Okay. Bounce, 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 land on Rambi, go, run off a little bit, pogo, pogo off this dude, light, light, and then you can do full, 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 light. Very good. So that's how you do the beginning. Once you get past this section, you just keep running right through. And you pick up Rambi. There's a couple different things you can do with him. Specifically, we need Rambi for the next section that I'm doing. You're going to be running off of this. Try and get it this time. You run off the box, do a full pogo, and then... Well, actually, it's not even a full pogo. It's light, because there's a fluffy bunny over there. If you full pogo, you'll actually hit him and lose all your speed. So you try to do it just hard enough that you land on the bunny on the right side. And this way you keep Rambi's speed, and you get to bounce off of the second bunny. And then after you bounce off the second bunny, you immediately want to dismount Rambi. I barely managed to get it in time, but when you bounce high enough with Rambi, you can actually just dismount off of Rambi, and then you'll land on the topmost section. You don't even have to do any of that platforming. And then you just roll. Now what I like to do is I jump right there, full pogos again. Full pogo setups are honestly one of the best tools you have as a runner. This is 2 light pogos right here to land on this box. Pretty snazzy. And then you got Rambi again, because you need him for the next section. So these gongs, they're actually, you can mash them, like you can just keep going like this, but that's slower. You want to time it very carefully, so it's 1, 2, 3. The last one is slightly more delayed. So on this section you can just run, you'll run right over that gap, you'll run right over the next gap, no problem. You'll run right over this next gap onto the crate. And this is where the first boost comes in. This is a pretty tricky boost to get. You want to look for a visual cue of where you're lining up Rambi with the pole in the background. I like to jump right as Rambi is passing it, but you'll have to figure out the timing. You know, get something you're comfortable with. Basically, if you jump too late, when you bounce off of the fat walnut dude, you'll be too far on the right, and the first bit of falling rock will hit you. And when you get hit by that falling rock, you cannot recover off of it, no matter what you do. You're thrown off of Rambi, you take the hit, Rambi falls in the pit, and even if you hold left, you're too far gone, you fall down. So this is what makes the first boost so risky, and this is why a lot of runners don't like to do the first boost. It only saves 1 second. The alternative is that you jump too soon. This means that you miss the falling rock the first time, but when you try and land on the next platform, you fall in the pit because you're too far to the left. So I'll try and get it again if I can. I like to jump right around there. Let's see, do a light pogo here, and then, as you can see, I actually jumped too soon. I would have fallen in the pit. I had to ditch Rambi. Very sad, because that makes the second boost much, much harder to do without Rambi. In fact, it's honestly something I'm not really comfortable doing. I will give it a shot right now, but honestly, I'm probably going to have to go back and get Rambi. And you can't really do so right now. So to set your second boost up, you want to make sure that you're on the crate, and then as it's passing by the center pillar there again, you want to do your roll jump, and then you're going to be jumping directly over the first pit. You want to do 2 bounces in the middle. Let's see if I can get that. Okay, so you have a lot of speed going off. Pogo, pogo. Ooh, okay, so I lost a lot of speed by clipping this ledge. See, normally DK would have done a roll... the way I hit this corner right here, Donkey Kong would have ledge clipped onto it. When he does that ledge hop, it kills all of the speed that you gain from pogos. Now, I was lucky enough to land on it, because otherwise I might have bonked and just hit the floor. So what you want to make sure that you do is, like, if you suspect that you're going to ledge hop because you didn't make it high enough, give up the pogo. It sucks that you're going to lose all that speed, but you're guaranteeing that you're going through the ledge hop and survive. This will happen a couple times in the run, so just make sure that like ledge hop is usually your friend. It makes it so you just barely make those dangerous leaps. Now, once you leap over the first giant gap, you're doing 2 light pogos. It's like a medium one and then a medium one, and what you should do is you'll land like right here with the last one. You won't bonk into this cave. I like to do a hard pogo that hits my head against the ceiling, and that'll land me right around here. So what I do from there is I'll do a light pogo to land on this one, and then because you're obviously going a lot faster, I underestimated the speed I had at first, but you do a light pogo after you bonk your head on the ceiling to get on the platform that just fell, and then another light pogo off of this box. You want to land on top of the box with Rambi. And this way you'll land up here, which you normally can't do because you're high enough with the pogo. You can't roll jump onto there. The backup strat would be that if you grab Rambi right here, you can actually, not pogo, but you can jump up and then ditch him. And this way you'll get on the next set of platforms. And then from here on out, like sometimes you do have to give up Rambi, which sucks, but this next section just keeps going. So you want to make sure that you're just chugging right on through. Lots of jumps, roll jumps if you have to. If you have Rambi, you could just keep crashing through all those bricks with his face on it, especially including the ones without his face on it. I didn't even notice that one wouldn't have it. But yeah, you just want to make sure you're taking your time very carefully. You want to keep rolling through. Just jump where you have to. Okay, it's not really that complex at this point. And then for this last one right here, I don't think I can get back over there. Okay, so there was a couple of bananas. What you want to do is you want to make sure that if you have Rambi, you can skip over this entire thing without having to crash through it. Remember, the less pogos that you, the less rolls that you have to start up, the better. So you can pogo over this whole thing like I did at the beginning. Just jump slightly before you would collect, like the arc to collect all the bananas, you want to jump slightly before that. And then you can pogo off of the first brick you see up on top of the Rambi box, and then you can pogo over the, on top of the second one, or over the second one, clear over the second one, right into the gold barrel. This stage is definitely one that I recommend you practice. If you're not comfortable with doing the boosts, then you really want to make sure you have them down before you start your runs, or just don't do them at all. It costs you 5 seconds not to do them and to do backup strats, but it's something that a lot of runners really strive to have in their runs. It's not too difficult to get the second boost down. I really recommend trying to get it done. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this on time attack. Try and get the second boost. First boost, it's really difficult to try and get. So I'll probably go for the safety like backup. You can tap left a bit instead. It's a lot less nerve-wracking. Remember, you don't always want to have like the perfect run to start your runs. You want to make sure that you have consistent runs going. Okay, I might clip. Okay, good. So if you ever slide up against anything, you'll lose some roll speed. That's why I try and set it up in such a way that I don't like brush up against that first platform. It'll slow you down and it'll mess up your full pogo setup. Run through the mouse and jump. There's no O, which I like to use as my visual cue. I just run off a bit and then dismount. So remember, to dismount you press grab and down while you're on Rambi. You can do that in the air. And sometimes you have to dismount to save yourself. Okay. Run over. This time of 1:55 is pretty easy to get. And dang it. Well, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just kept Rambi. Okay, let's see if I can get this time. Okay, well, that was pretty close enough, honestly. So I'm probably going to get like a 135, maybe a 136. Honestly, not too bad though. This is something that I would include in my runs. I would not be too upset to have a time like this in my runs. There we go, 134. Excellent. So that's all you really want to be looking for when you go through the stage. I tried to go for first boost, screwed it up, lost Rambi, and I couldn't do the second boost properly. Would have saved me another 5 seconds if I could have done that. But as you can see, even that's not the end of the world. You still got a shiny gold time. And yeah, that's how you get through Mountain Mania. Honestly, it's a very difficult stage pretty early on, so this is why we say that the run really starts in World 2. Next is Horntop Hop, and man, I am excited about this stage. Oh, it's there's two ways you can do this stage. It's absolute insanity or casual, and I don't like casual in my runs. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope this guide helped. Do tune in next time, and take care.